Welcome to Self-Centered Living, a podcast that serves as a vital platform for women of color to take charge of our narratives and where our voices are amplified. I'm your host, Trish, and here we delve into our diverse experiences and rich humanity through a blend of personal stories and insightful discussions with a range of guests. Our aim is to foster meaningful connections and understanding among our listeners. In today's episode, I'm joined by Faatimah a professional basketball player and the CEO and founder of the Women's Premier Basketball Association. Faatimah's story is not just about basketball, it's about the power of creating one's narrative in the face of adversity. Challenges like death and taxes are guaranteed. Life will continue lifing no matter who you are. Listen to how Faatimah uses her experiences as motivation and lessons to improve the lives of others, namely, women aspiring to play competitive basketball. Also, listen for what I call moments of grace, giving her much needed assist in the right way at the right time. Consider Faatimah's relationship to her evolving story. What is a turning point in your story that reshaped your aspirations and motivated you to pursue your goals with newfound determination? All right, a little setup before we begin. This episode is a little bit different than the previous ones. In this episode, I give you a peek into how my guests and I get comfortable before going into the recorded session. It's a quick question and answer segment. I believe the answers Faatimah provides give some more color to her personality. Enjoy the episode. Okay. What's your favorite meal?
Falafel, maybe a chicken shawarma, but anything Mediterranean. Yeah.
Oh, okay. If you weren't a point guard, what other position would you play?
I'd like to be like four. I want to
Is it
play
is that one
inside
of the
one.
new hybrid ones? The 3-4?
It's kind of like a small forward, but they get to play inside and out. And then I'm assuming that they would be a little bit taller. So I would try to dunk.
Because
Girls are
your
dunking
height
now.
is what?
Yeah, I'm about 5'5" on a good day.
Okay, on a good day. All right. When in doubt, do you shoot the ball or pass it?
I'm gonna let that thing go. I'm shooting it.
Favorite country you visited so far?
Probably Kuwait. Yeah.
Kuwait. Why?
Yeah, Kuwait. It was just beautiful while I was there. It was very clean. It was very safe. Obviously, being a woman of color, safety is something we don't have the luxury of here in the States all of the time. And being able to like leave my things in the car, walk outside past 12 midnight and not be harassed, I felt at ease.
Yeah. Biggest influence in your life?
Not a lot of people say they're mothers, but I've had the opportunity to have a lot of amazing people in my life. I got to give them all credit. But obviously, my mom.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. If you had to quickly choose a code word, what would it be?
Pineapples.
Why?
I love pineapples. I put pineapples on pizza, so people think I'm weird for that. So,
Okay.
yeah,
I was wondering about the pineapples. All right. Finish the sentence. A good morning is when I.
have a smile on my face.
Okay.
I wake up, yeah.
Leading off of that, what is the most sacred thing to you?
My peace.
Finish the sentence. When they go low, I go.
Hi.
Today on Self-Centered Living, I'm speaking with Faatimah A. Faatimah is the founder and CEO of Women's Premier Basketball Association. She started in 2022 with the intention of being the leading development league feeding the WNBA, Euro League, Euro Cup, and providing international opportunities through FIBA leagues and tournaments. Welcome, Faatimah.
Thank you, Trish. It's so good to be here, and I'm excited to be doing this podcast with you today.
I'm excited to have you here, as you know, because I first got introduced to you by listening to Snap Judgment. The story being shared was you were in the middle of playing for your league. It was also a time where you were waiting to find out if you'd be picked up and you wanted to be in Europe. You'd already started the Women's Premier Basketball Association. So you were also making way for placements for other players. I became really curious about one, I need to know whether or not you got picked up, which you did. So you've done 8 seasons abroad and you played in 10 different countries. Then I was curious about how do you be a player and also start a league with 8 teams and start to pave this way for other women to play? What was the need? Before you go into that, just tell us a little bit about your formative years.
Oh, I know a lot of people might not know this, but I'm Canadian. I was born in Toronto. My family and I, we moved out to the Bay Area when I was around like 5 years old. So I've grown up out here in the Bay. I'm the eldest of four children on this side from my mother. I've had a lot of, responsibilities growing up, especially, living in a single parent household for the most part. Communities played a huge role in my development, having a lot of amazing mentors and people that I've been able to speak with about how to conduct myself in this world have been very instrumental in my development. I think, the biggest thing for me, I'd say this, to people sometimes, if you can make it here in the Bay, you can make it anywhere. So, I think I can definitely say that the Bay has definitely like shaped me a little bit in how I go about things today in life.
When did you start playing basketball?
I was around 12 years old. So we just had moved into um, this home over in the Fruitville area. This was like our first time not living in an apartment or anything like that. This was our very own home, which I was really excited about. As a kid, there's this park down the street from me. It is called Diamond Park. And we went there one day and I saw this girl on the court playing basketball, but she was really moving, like killing it. She was doing things I had never seen before. Me, naturally, I've always been a very open, friendly child. If I want to learn how to do something, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to ask somebody that knows how to do it to help me with it. Being a kid, you just go up to, kids in the playground and you go and ask them. So I went up to her while she was hooping and I asked her, hey, can you show me how to do that? Like, this is dope. How do you do this? For like next week, I was probably at the park every single day that week. I was determined to like get better. I was determined to like do these moves that, she was doing. As time progressed, I got better. If anyone went to that court back in the day, they would know about these two little girls playing on this court. If you wanted to get on the court and shoot, because there's only one basket at this court. If
Oh,
you wanted to
wow.
get on the court, yeah, if you want to get on the court and shoot, you had to play us for it because we're not getting off.
Was she older than you? Was she like a bigger player? Or
We were about the same age. The funny
what?
thing is, yeah, during my middle school years, we ended up being able to play against each other. So it was kind of a student teacher moment, which was really cool. But people still talk about that game until today. It was a great middle school eighth grade girls game of basketball played at a high level where, Allen Iverson, when I was growing up, was my favorite player. I loved his energy, his persona, his vibe on the court. To see two players of like that caliber go at it at such a young age, which is, something we don't see. I don't think people saw that, but now, the game of basketball players are now able to be more fluid. We were doing that back then. So it was exciting for people to see.
Wow. Iverson, when you look at players in the league at the time for him, he is a smaller player.
Yeah.
So, what is your height?
I am 5'5". Fun size is what they call it. I've been told by, some coaches within my playing careers that I've been undersized. I don't let that dictate how I show up to the game. I think at the end of the day, if you are a competitor
Yeah.
and you have heart, you're going to go out there and do whatever you need to do. Basketball is a game of runs. Basketball is a game of challenges, and obviously it reflects, what life skills that we use, on a day to day basis. Yes, I'm small, but I'm going to get the job done regardless.
Which is proven because you said, certainly in other interviews or so, you were not highly recruited. You had to work for every position you gained.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, basketball has definitely nurtured that fighting spirit that I have. It's definitely allowed me to be a leader because obviously anyone at this height, like they can make excuses for themselves on why they're not able to, do what they're doing or be at the level that they want to be at. I never made excuses for myself. Yeah, at times that I need more development growing up, 100%. But I was a gym rat. I was in the gym every single summer whenever I had the opportunity to get better because I knew where I wanted to be. In order for me to get there, it took work. I'm not afraid of hard work.
Was there a specific time when you recognized, okay, basketball could actually be a vehicle for me to bigger, better, other things?
Yeah, I mean, There was a very like pivotal point in my life where my family and I we were going through, a hardship. We ended up being homeless and living in a shelter. I think at that point, we're always faced with decisions. Either we can be products of our environment or we can continue to fight and make it to a place where we want to be. I was always, my headspace. That was always what I was thinking about. I thank God for my PE teacher back in middle school. I went to a charter school that didn't have a basketball program. She specifically put that program in there or, made it happen so that I could do something that I love. Because I think at the time she knew that I was going through, something that I didn't really tell anyone about. I was
Yeah.
embarrassed. She saw how much joy it brought me. She saw how much I loved the game. At that point, I really started to see basketball as a way to, one, take me away from what I was currently experiencing. I was put in an atmosphere where I could control the narrative as long as I like showed up to play. Whenever I got the chance to. It gave me a sense of control. It gave me a goal to work toward. And it gave me community when I didn't feel like I really had one at that time. I think at that point in my life, I really saw basketball as a vehicle to help me get to where I want to be. And another point, during that time in the shelter, I had the opportunity to go to the Golden State Warriors basketball camp. They ended up giving a scholarship to a bunch of the children there during this time, during the holidays, where not a lot of us are able to go out because we don't have the funds to, but they gave a bunch of us a scholarship to go to this camp for 1 week. No one knew what we were going through. They just knew we were there to play basketball. I ended up getting MVP of the camp and camper of the week. All of that stuff meant something to me.
Yeah.
I felt like I was seen. I was acknowledged for my skills, and not only my skills, just my character. Yeah, that's probably one of those moments where that is probably the moment where I realized basketball could help me do a little something. Yeah.
Speaking of character, fast forward, I'm back with Snap Judgment. The thing that I was just thinking about is what made her decide to start this league while you're also looking to be picked up for the season overseas, looking at all you were holding, that feels pretty courageous.
Yeah. I think for me, it's always a labor of love whenever I'm doing anything basketball related. I'm really big on, reaching back and pulling someone up, especially when you've made it. I felt at a point in my career, I had done, 5 seasons. I'm playing top league in Mexico. I'm playing against WNBA players, having a good season. But before, all of that, like I realized there wasn't anything like what I was experiencing while I was overseas here in the Bay Area. The Bay Area definitely like shaped my basketball career. I wanted to be able to give the same opportunity or give a similar opportunity to the women that are here because these are the women that have helped me prepare for my seasons in college, helped me prepare for my seasons while I'm overseas. It was a very iron sharpened iron mentality. I wanted to be able to create a platform where all these amazing women, because it's not like they're getting paid to play basketball. These women are doctors, these women are lawyers, police officers, coaches, teachers, and they are also really good at basketball. If I could help put a spotlight on them and give them something that is going to make their summers that much better, I wanted to be able to go ahead and do that. So that is what inspired me to create the Women's Premier Basketball Association. On top of that, just be able to provide players that don't know how to navigate with getting overseas the resources that they need to be able to put themselves in the best situations to be able to succeed and lock in a contract. So yeah, that's, what inspired me to create the WPBA. Although it is a lot, I had gotten to a point where I was starting to learn what is my purpose.
Yeah.
With growing up, I've always been someone that is trying to help the next person. I've always been very selfless. I understand like the power in community. I knew that if I had someone like me when I was first starting out, I would have been in a much better position. So at that point, I was just like, I think it's my opportunity to be a leader and step up and to put this community in a better position than how I found it. So yeah.
Impressive. I still sit with that and I'm just like, that's a lot. That's a lot. But as I get to know you, I think who better to do it because I'm also seeing how experiences you've had you apply to how you prepare these other players, namely overseas, your first assignment overseas. What did that look like?
My first assignment overseas, just to give people some insight and background, I didn't play much in college. I did not play much. I worked really, really hard. I was a part of championship caliber programs, so I knew how to win. I was a part of winning programs, but I didn't really get an opportunity to start playing much until maybe like my last year going into my senior year of college. So I'm averaging like 3.5 points per game, but I still holding on to this dream of wanting to become a professional athlete. That summer, I did whatever it was going to take to make it all possible. I spent money at combines, trying to get picked up. I played for teams, hoping, to get an opportunity, just trying to figure out what was going to help an opportunity stick for me. I ended up getting an opportunity to play for Santiago de Maria over in El Salvador. Did I know where El Salvador was back then? Nope. I had to pull out a map, do my research. When I got over there, the first day I was there was crazy. I'm seeing military around holding guns. At this time, like, there's riots going on and all of these crazy things happening in the US. As a person of color, it's a little bit uneasy seeing people just openly carrying AK-47s. It took me
Wow.
some time to like
Yeah.
adjust to, especially in the grocery store. Like, who's stealing in the grocery store? But they had that there, and there's military all around. The first place we stayed in, my goodness, there wasn't even a door on the home. It wasn't secure. I didn't feel secure, so I had to like talk to the coach and president of our club. I ended up being able to stay along with our other imports. We got to stay in the capital with this family, and bless her heart, she is an amazing woman because this was sprung on her. She had to adjust to us while we're trying to adjust to living in El Salvador. She ended up having to send her children away to live with family so that we could live there. She had to make a sacrifice, and we had to adjust to like the living situation there where just like, the house was a little dirty. There were like bugs and stuff like that. I remember being in plastic bags trying to like clean off my bed because there were just like ants everywhere. It was just like, it was crazy because I had never been through something like this. Childhood, like living in that shelter at that time, taught me if this is something I truly, truly want, just stick it out because this season was short of about 3 months. Just stick it out and make the most of it. Like, I didn't even have hot water. Imagine not taking hot water, like hot showers for like 3 months. There was
Yeah.
one time I took a hot shower and I was like smiling for all 10 minutes that I was in the shower. It'll be fine.
Yeah. No hot
But
shower.
like,
Hard no. Yeah.
yeah, like it was crazy. And then just, just all of the other things. But I'm very appreciative of her opening up her home to us. And at that point, like I knew the first game, people told me they're like, hey, in order for you to step into these bigger leagues, you need to put up these type of numbers. I already went into this league with a mindset where I'm just like, I'm going to kill this. When I first started, it was just me like, I'm going to prove all these people wrong that doubted me. I feel like I did my first year. My team, they hadn't won a game till we got there. And the amount of years that the program's been around, we ended up finishing fourth. We went to playoffs for the first time. I was the second leading scorer in that conference, averaging like 30 points per game.
Wow.
I was behind the player that played for the Cuban national team. And obviously, Cuba has always been a really strong team. Mind you, this girl's like 6'2". So me at 5'5", I'm averaging 30 points a game, getting assists, helping the team win. But I really had to dig deep that season because I wanted it so bad. It broke my heart a little bit because towards the end of the season, once our season finished, they didn't pay us at all. They broke the contract. They ended up sending me home on my birthday. I
Oh
was supposed
my
to be home
God.
2 weeks before my birthday. So that was a whole adjustment. But at that point, I was just like, okay, I got through it. What's next? How do I market myself so that these other teams and these other leagues can see me as an asset to their program?
Wow. While you were there, you pulled on the experience of the couple of years in the homeless shelter because by then you knew you were resilient. I can do this. I've done that. But conditions sound like they were below, below.
They were, but I'm like, I know there's other people around the world that don't have shelter and stuff like that. So to have a roof over my head and,
Yeah.
to at least have a great teammate with me while I was there. Obviously, the woman that was there, she was amazing too. To have people like that in it with you, it just helps you put things into perspective. Yes, it was tough, but I had people to go through it with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that now help you as an owner of a league where you're obviously working to place players overseas?
I know I'm special because it's just like I know a lot of people, if they would have gone through what I've gone through, they would have thrown in the towel after the first year. They would have been like, not for me. I'm okay. I'm all
Yeah.
right. But I know that, me being in the position I'm at, I'm really big on interpersonal relationships in this
Yeah.
business or just in life in general. With the relationships that I've built over the years by playing in all of these countries and making sure my professionalism is always intact. Whenever I am sending players anywhere, clubs know, the certain things I ask. What's the living conditions like? Are they provided meals? Are their flights paid for? Well, when are they getting paid? We have bills here that we need to take care of, so I need to make sure that they get their money on time so that they can handle the responsibilities. I make sure all of these things, I look over their contracts as well, and I help players to conduct themselves, how they should conduct themselves in meetings so that when they do negotiate their contracts, or we have their agent negotiate their contracts in the future, they already have a bit of a blueprint on how to do that. I just sent a player to Europe maybe a few weeks ago, but those are some of the things I look for. It was her first time. I wanted to make sure that she was comfortable and she was ready. Because at the end of the day, once you get over there, it's all up to you to do what you say you're going to do. It's up to the team to uphold their end of the contract.
With the Women's Premier Basketball League, you placed about 40 players abroad. But this works actually closer to like 100 players if we're gonna tell the truth, right?
Yeah, no, I've placed a lot of players. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I should have been an agent. I should definitely be an agent because I'm just like, I'm missing out on so much commission because it was never about the money for me. It's about providing people with an opportunity because I know what it feels like to not know how to make something happen. All of these things, I've had to learn it throughout my experience, throughout
Yeah.
my career. If I can make it easier for the next person and they can help the next person, we're creating this ecosystem where we're creating better basketball players that are educated on how to conduct themselves and build longevity within their careers.
Yeah, and we could say it's not about the money, but
It
you
is.
now being yeah, yeah. Now being owner, it's like the resources you need to have, the funding you need to have.
Yeah.
Ideally, what would support look like?
Support 100% looks like funding. I need more people that believe in what we're doing to be able to invest and support because when I first started this, it's definitely evolved into something so much bigger. Now it's bigger than me. I want to continue to be able to give these women the opportunities and the resources that they need to have in order to succeed. Support looks like, again, funding, buying merch, telling people about this amazing league, coming to a game, watching the games online, just making sure we get the word out as much as possible and funding.
And funding.
Yeah.
And just to help people understand, what is it that you actually cover to prepare players?
So these resources aren't free. Everyone needs to be, paid for their time. But we're covering operational costs. We're covering the resources that these players are using, whether it's, consulting, main building, training, whether it's on the court or off the court, mental health component that is a part of this, as well as jerseys, all the regular stuff, the costs like the gym rental fees, officiating, all of those things cost. The bigger this league gets, the bigger those expenses are going to be. So those are, just a few things to name off what those funds are, what those funds are being used for.
You mentioned mental health. Is that something that's fundamental to any league to provide services in mental health? I know that you've been, again, going back to snap judgment. You were very open about, yeah, my therapist, which I applaud. Has
Yeah.
that been fundamental in most leagues?
Let me go back. In college, I ended up majoring in psychology. I already have a background in understanding why you need to be, your mental health needs to be in a certain position in order for you to be able to produce or just function as a normal human. It helped me during my time in college because I obviously felt like I was going through a lot anyway, especially with being the first to graduate from university in my family. I had a huge weight on my shoulders and I needed to be able to talk to someone to help me like navigate how to stay focused in times where so many things were just going on. I say that to say that is important because, life is going to happen regardless. We never know what people are going through, especially athletes. It could be a lonely road sometimes as
Yeah.
a professional athlete. So if you have someone that you can talk to about what is going on for you or someone that's going to help you put things into perspective so that you can take back control of your life. Like, I'm all for that because if you're in a good space mentally, and the game is 90% mental, 10% physical. If you're in a good space mentally, everything else in your life is going to be able to flow. I know that, at times, even just running this league, I'm using those resources because I'm juggling a lot. I'm, a player, owner, I'm
Yeah.
a mentor. Like, there's so many hats that I have on all of the time to where I know that I need to make sure my mental health you know, is at the top of my priority list.
Yeah. Thinking about that, what are the changes you've had to make to move more into this owner role and doing all that you need to do to get this organization to function successfully?
The analogy of, the glass half empty, half full, um, resonates with me a lot because it's just like, I know with doing this and playing, my cup is constant pouring into so many other cups, trying to help others, achieve their goals. I find so much joy and happiness knowing that people are able to succeed, especially if we had a goal in mind and they're able to, see their dreams come true. But I feel that as things get bigger, I definitely need to do a better job of prioritizing my health, my wellness, because the driver of this vehicle is so important. So I feel that stepping into this space and growing how I'm growing, definitely finding people in my community that I can reach out to for advice. Mentorship is so important right now to me because I feel like I'm in a space where I'm building and I want to be able to continue to learn. I feel like I'm in this space where I'm a student of the game all over again. Not the game on
Yes.
the court, but just the game of life and the game of being a strong businesswoman because I feel like I have people that are looking up to me. And I want to set the example. I feel that, right now it's very important that I prioritize my mental health. I prioritize, how much energy I'm putting into certain things because in order for this to continue to grow in the way that I would like for it to grow, I need to make sure I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying before that you go back to thinking about your time in the homeless shelter and that kind of, again, the resilience. If there is a hill you need to climb that gets you to the other side. As you become owner, is that the place that you go to, or is that the place that's going to get you over the hill now for the next leg of your journey?
I think, especially in this last season, up until then, that was definitely something I had reached from to continue to motivate me to keep
Yeah.
pushing forward. I feel like my focus has definitely changed now because I used to, think of that moment in the homeless shelter as something that was like negative and it was an experience that I, got out of. But I think that again, because I am in this role of like mentorship, I'm definitely doing it for little Fatima. I'm doing it for those that are not even for those, just for myself. Like, would little Fatima, you know, think about seeing someone in this position doing what they're doing? So it's just like, I really am kind of wanting to step away from that a little bit more and kind of wanting to really focus in on what it is little Fatima needed and what it is future Fatima needs to continue to lead in this present.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's kind of what I've been thinking about as of recent.
What's inspiring you these days? Because you've been pretty much self motivated. As you said, you've gone for what you wanted, and things haven't come easily. It has lined up with support in different places. Where are you finding inspiration these days?
These last 6 months have been very eye opening for me. I've been able to speak with some very successful people. The questions I asked them at these sponsors: how did you handle adversity? How did you still show up when you were at points in your life where you felt low?
Yeah.
Because again, at times, like, I'm not going to say this is easy. Yes, I do love this, but I am human and sometimes I'm experiencing burnout. I think that having these conversations with people and hearing that they believe in what I'm doing helps me to continue to push forward and continue working at something. I don't know how close I am to. that big moment where this league is where I want it to be, but I know I'm doing the work. I know that the universe is going to reward me at some point for the work that I'm doing. 'Cause I'm just putting positivity out there into the world. So again, having those conversations, being able to reach out to mentors, having access to those people to ask them about what their experience has been like, and looking back at mine and being able to, take a minute. I'm going to take a day for myself at times, but refocus and get back out there and just keep working because I don't feel like the job's done yet.
I like the idea of taking a day for yourself. That
Yeah.
sounds like permission right now, right?
Or- And I feel like, I've done a better job of giving myself grace. I think,
Yeah.
growing up at times I'm a perfectionist. Sometimes, people with those qualities kind of struggle because it's just like it's either, their way or the highway. If it doesn't go their way, then it's bad. And just like I'm really incorporating pivoting into my practices now and just giving myself grace if it doesn't go how I wanted it to go. Because at the end of the day, I'm still getting to where I want to be. I'm never going to go in a straight line. There's going to be detours here and there, but I'm still moving forward and still going in the direction of progress. It's all a part of the journey, and I'm just embracing it as I go.
What was the last unexpected pivot you had to do?
Recently, had a mini fracture on my ankle, and not as young as I used to be. I didn't know that it was that bad until I went and I got an X-ray. I'm getting ready to leave to go and play overseas. And I'm just like, why isn't my body recovering the way that it has been in the past? Like usually I could sprain my ankle, wrap it up in 3 days, get back on the court and just play through the pain. But my body wasn't responding how it normally would. So I went and I got that x-ray and yeah, they were just like, you need to put this boot on and you need to rest because if you continue to go down this path, you will not be able to play basketball at a high level. So put me in this headspace. The first week wasn't a pleasant person to be around because I was really frustrated. My whole world, I'm getting ready to get rid of my apartment at that time of year where I'm getting ready to go overseas. I'm making all of these changes
Yeah.
and I'm not going overseas anymore. This is something different than what I've been doing the last 8 years. So I really had to work on being by myself, giving myself more care and attention, really tapping into like self-love and giving myself grace because it was hard being in that boot and not being able to fully move how I used to. And just getting my mental right. Like I ended up, getting back into therapy again. So all of those things during that time, it was a very eye-opening situation. That was probably like the most recent time I've had to like take a pivot. But in that moment, in those moments, I feel like I came out reborn in a way because I'm now looking at prioritizing myself and understanding the power in doing that
Yeah.
and realizing, this is the energy, this is the type of energy I'm going to start welcoming into my life because I can now start seeing all of these positive things, these new insights that I'm having, just my business and just me as a player in general. So, I think it was a blessing in disguise in a way because it's forced me to sit down. I've just been on go so much since I graduated from university. I've been playing basketball professionally since like I've been on go. And this was probably God's way and my body's way of just being like, hey, you need to take a rest and you need to rest and reflect.
Yeah.
That's what that was for me. So I came out better than how I was. I'm appreciative of that whole experience, but yeah, I don't know where I would be if that didn't happen. I'm happy that it happened when it did. Yeah,
It sounds like it creates some space for some things to come in, some
for,
good things to come in, which
for
leads
sure.
me to the next question. What is next for Fatima, you personally? And then what is next for your league? What exciting
Well,
things?
let me start with the league first. So what's next for the league? I'm really, really, really wanting to be more intentional this year. I want to be able to get our players, our staff paid and create more jobs within the community because women's basketball is literally on the rise right now. It is
Yeah.
the expected generated revenue for women's sports in general is about 1 billion. I really want to do the work to make sure that we are positioned in a way so that we can succeed, and we're creating opportunities for the women in this community, as well as, women that are looking to, get overseas, looking to expand. I'm looking to bring in bigger brand partnerships this year. And I'm really looking to bring in more people that are in alignment with what we're trying to do here at the Women's Premier Basketball Association. That is what I have in mind for the business. And personally, I want to stay on this path of, self discovery. I know that on the last 7, 8 years, I've really been, just a basketball player, but I'm getting older and definitely want to be able to, find my person. Yeah. Like start feeling like I really want to be able to do all of those things. I know that, I'm going to be able to play basketball for a few more years, but I want to continue to find a way to be able to fit all of that into one so that I can still do the things that I love and still continue to like nurture, Faatimah in this place. So yeah.
So if you were to take a vacation, I don't know when's the last
Yes.
time you did that.
Never. Never.
Okay, so never. I mean, what would a vacation look like?
Probably not touching a I mean, I can play a little basketball while I'm there, but a
Is it
vacation
a
to me,
city holiday or is it a beach
yeah,
holiday?
I need to go to Jamaica. I play for the national team. I haven't been back since I was a kid. I really need to go back. So I'm thinking that would be a really beautiful experience for me to go there and just, see where I come from.
Yeah,
And, I think, while being there, I'll be able to learn a little bit more about me. And that's the space that I'm in. So that's what a vacation would look like to me. Yeah.
lovely, lovely. Is there anything else you would want people to know about the work you're doing with the league?
you know, I want people to know that this is incredibly important right now. There is no G League, there's no development league currently
Yeah.
for women. This gap that we are currently filling is providing so many opportunities for women, that need it. And again, looking at the statistics, there's thousands of players that graduate from university every single year, but maybe a couple hundred, maybe 200 get the opportunity to play or get seen, in the W or these other top leagues. I feel that the Women's Premier Basketball Association can definitely provide more of those women opportunities at being able to live out their dreams and do something that they love. I want people to bet on women. I want people to bet on the WPBA, and I want people to really understand the power that comes from being a part of this community and how many lives we'll be able to change by supporting us.
That feels like a good place to reflect on any of the key insights you may have come across on your journey. What key insights have you had so far?
Key insights, I would probably have to say one being there is such thing as like a wrong path. I think that a powerful piece of information for me because I feel that, and I've heard this from one of the previous speakers I've had the opportunity of speaking with at some conferences that I've been to recently. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're still going to end up with where you're supposed to be. I think that, especially when it comes into play, when I'm thinking about like my league, I could, look at all of these other organizations that have been around for such a long time and I could compare myself to them, but that's doing myself a disservice. For literally 2 years, going on 3 years, we've had so much success so far from what we've been able to accomplish. So just understanding that my integrity, number one, is always at the forefront of all of this. I'm only doing this because I love the games. I know that because that is the type of energy that I'm going into this with, I'm going to end up with where I was meant to be. Just continuing to just believe that and running my own race. Those are some key insights and just, preparation, making sure that I am fully prepared with whatever opportunity that I'm given to go in and execute. Because again, I've worked hard to be here. I've worked hard to be in these rooms with, some phenomenal people. If I wasn't meant to be there, I wouldn't be there. So just believing that I'm meant to be where I'm supposed to be at those times and going and showing who I truly am because I think I'm an amazing person. I truly believe that I'm an amazing person. And
I agree.
I think that others see that, and I want more people to be able to see that so that they know that there are genuine good people out there that want to do good in this world.
For sure. One of the reflections or one of the things that I'm left thinking about and curious about is from where you are today, what do you pull from? What exactly does that feel like? What exactly does that look like? I think that still remains to be seen. I feel like that's still shaping up. That's one of the things I'm most excited about continuing to track. And then this piece around community that we
Mhm.
didn't go into a lot, but you're using basketball in your league to further community. You talked about the importance of this moment in basketball. I don't believe it's a moment, just a moment. I think this is the future. Um,
Mhm.
the community piece resonates with me quite a bit. So yeah, yeah,
I
you'll
think,
have to come back and tell me what that looks like, where you're pulling from these days.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think I know where I'm pulling from currently. Just I don't know. I'm like a big like Pokemon nerd sometimes. Just like I don't know. That's what I grew up on. But like when people go through certain things, or like the Pokemon go through certain things, and then they evolve. Like certain challenges
yeah,
force them to evolve. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. And then with this new power that I have, I'm trying to continue to step into it and see, how else it's going to shape me. So I feel like right now, just continuing to learn about myself and understand the power that I hold in these spaces. Um, I think that's definitely where I'm pulled from, especially with me moving forward and how I'm going to approach the future.
yeah, yeah. And it's getting comfortable with that power.
And
Yeah.
getting comfortable. Yeah. Just being unapologetically myself, showing up and just setting the example, leading by example, 100%.
I think that's a good place to wrap. Thank you, Fatima. That was really great. Thank you for taking the time to spend with me and have this conversation. I'm going to continue following you. It started with Snap Judgment, but it continues. I really appreciate you taking this time with me. Thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Self Centered Living. If you have enjoyed it and it has been beneficial in any way, I would love to hear from you. Please email me at info@ self-centeredliving.com. Our music is Tide Turns by Ketsu. Our show notes include information about our participants. I'll meet you back here for next week's episode. Take care until then.